Robert Pate, or Pate, I don't know which. Thank you for a $5 super chat. Throttle and pitch are mixed up in Betaflight. AETR 1234 is enabled. Well, whatever it is, it needs to be different. So you can either change the AETR into TAER, which would swap throttle. No, sorry. TEAR, which would swap throttle and roll or pitch. No. Dang it. AETR, ATER would swap pitch and throttle. Thank you. I got it. Or you need to go into your radio and you need to swap in the mixer screen which channel each one is on. If you're using TBS Crossfire, you could have remapped the outputs in the receiver as well. But what I would do is I would just go into the flight controller and I would change the AETR and I would change the order until the channels were mapped correctly. That's it. RGMG, this is the last super chat. If no more super chats come in, we'll go back to answering questions from the regular chat. I'm flying iFlight Nazgul Evoke 5-inch. The default tune is great, but I fly with a GoPro. In your opinion, is it worth the PID tune due to the extra weight flying with a GoPro? Generally, what happens is the additional weight of a GoPro settles the tune down a little bit and makes it less sharp, but also smoother. So if you have a quadcopter, then you've tuned the P and the D gains with a GoPro on, and you've tuned those P and D gains just to the absolute edge of what's possible. As soon as you remove the GoPro, you'll have a little bit of bounce back and a little bit of prop wash oscillation because that damping caused by that additional weight is no longer there. So if you've got a quad that flies perfectly smoothly with a GoPro and without a GoPro, and you add a GoPro, it won't be quite as sharp, but it'll be even smoother, and that's probably okay. So I would usually either tune it with the GoPro and fly with the GoPro all the time, or tune it without the GoPro, and then when you add the GoPro, you'll be all right. Or just don't tune it to like the ultimate 99th percentile edge of performance, because you're always going to have like a broken prop, or maybe a motor gets a little dinged up. Unless you're like a racer who just absolutely needs the sharpest possible performance to get those tenths of a second, like I would not tune to the 98th percentile of what's possible, because I would want a little bit of headroom for things to go wrong with the quad. And I would accept that the tune is maybe only 90% of what's possible and have a little bit of headroom there if I take the GoPro off, or if I use a heavier battery, or if a prop gets bent. I'm not just frying things. Nasty FPV says, anybody else try the new AT32 flight controllers? I actually have one of those. Let me show it here on stream. Race Day Quads has this new flight controller from iFlight. It's the iFlight Blitz ATF, and it is an AT32 based stack and combo for 40 bucks. What makes it so cheap is they're using a different processor that's not an STM32 chip. It's an AT32 chip. And it's a few little hoops you got to jump through, but specifically, you have to be on a version of Betaflight Configurator that is only just now in release candidate. But, geez, 40 bucks for a flight controller and ESC. And it's not like it's some no-name Chinese company you've never heard of. It's iFlight, a Chinese company you have heard of. 100%, I think it's worth doing. What soldering iron would you recommend for FPV stuff? So, like, the soldering iron that I go to is like the TS101. And there's a million different little versions of the TS101. And I'm not always sure that I'm up to date on the latest versions. Like this one, TS101. There's also the Secure SQ01 and the TS100. SQ01? I wonder if I've got the SQ001. There we go. The Secure SQ001 is basically the same thing as the TS101. And there's also the TS100 soldering iron, which is an updated, no, not the TS101, the TS100. It's an updated version of the TS101. Takes USB input. I would definitely get one of these. I'm not sure like if one of them is definitely better than the others. But I would do my research among those and get them. The Secure is usually pretty much, it's usually a lot cheaper. Yeah, $40, $60. So that's $20.
People are mentioning the Pine Sol. Wasn't there an issue with the Pine Sol or something? I can't remember.
Yeah, the Pine Sol can't take 6S, but that's not like a deal breaker. I mean, I'm not sure. I don't think any of these are rated for 6S, but some of them are known to be okay with 6S. I have the Pine Sol. It's been good to me. $25. Shoo! For $25, you take a chance. Yeah, see, it's only rated up to 24 volts. Any of those are a good choice and worth considering. Will something like OpenIPC or OpenHD ever become a real thing like ExpressLRS? What does that mean, Nico Hartson? What does it mean, a real thing? Like a commercial product? I think if OpenHD was going to become a commercial product, it would have done it by now. There was actually an explicit effort by one of the OpenHD devs to fundraise. I think there was a Kickstarter or a GoFundMe to try to raise money to build a commercial OpenHD system that they could sell. I haven't seen it happen, so I'm going to guess that didn't pan out.
It's still active, and they just produced the first VTX like 2 weeks
Shut
ago.
up! Shut up! Shut up! Damn, I'm glad you're here, Blunty. I mean, it's been a long freaking... How long has it been? Is it a GoFundMe?
It's a while. No, it's a Patreon. I'll link you in the chat and Discord if you check it. Yeah, I actually just happened to be looking in on it because we were talking about OpenIPC, and I'm like, oh, wow, actually.
Okay. $162 a month. OpenHD. Where's their posts? How can I see their status updates?
You scroll down, just keep scrolling. There you go.
It works. What's next? Oh, I can't see the post.
If you, yeah, you won't be able to see them unless you pay the money. But you can at least see like that top one says, you know, the VTX works. They've got like a working hardware piece of hardware. So
well, that's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. I mean, it's been a long time. It's been a long time. How far back do we need to go?
I think that was where you were at, the May 22nd, 2021.
Oh, it hasn't been. Oh, it's like it's over 2 years. Yeah. Okay. Well, good to know that they're still working on it. More power to them. OpenHD has potential to be good, but they need a dedicated, like a dedicated hardware solution. As long as it's cobbled together from a Raspberry Pi and an off-the-shelf Wi-Fi adapter, it's not going to be ready for mainstream. That's kind of cool. Good for them.
I'm guessing that's what he means, the same as ExpressLRS, right? People were DIYing ExpressLRS until it got to a point where manufacturers were like, hey, we should hop on this because people will buy these and it's worth and it's cheaper. And, you know, like, I don't know if all that will happen, but it's interesting to consider, like, if that could happen, especially with OpenIPC, which looks more appealing. I know Madstech has bought hardware to test that, so I'm interested to see his results when he's finished.
Yeah. Okay. I should freaking do that. Okay. I don't know.